So it's rare I film a video twice, let alone 3 times, but in the saga of filming pen videos from the lake, you probably saw that I lost all my footage one day and had to refilm absolutely everything. So I filmed everything twice. And then I kept getting the same question about a pen that I was posting, and I realized I didn't answer it in the video. And so we're filming that video for a third time. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know if this was helpful because I kept getting the same questions, and so I just decided I was going to refilm the video. So let's get into it. If you haven't guessed the pen, it is the Conklin Mark Twain Crescent Filler Demo Pen. This has honestly been probably the most talked about pen that I've posted in a very long time because people loved it. But people also had questions, which is fair. It's a very interesting pen to look at. It's a very pretty pen. And the questions were things that I probably should have thought to answer and just didn't. So first we're going to look at the box, and then we're going to get into what the questions were and all that fun stuff. So I love this box, specifically the box sleeve, because it's got all of the diagrams from the original patent, and I just think it's super cool. The patent was originally approved in 1901, and you've just got all the diagrams, and you've got the edition size and what pen it was in the edition. Conklin and Monteverde both put that right on the box. It's handwritten. I really like it. I think it sort of makes it seem more personal, which is very nice. And then you have the standard Conklin navy blue faux leather box. I have a whole bunch of these because Conklin and Monteverde provided me with 5 pens. But they are very pretty boxes, and I do like that they just seem well made. I think there are notes that other pen companies could take from this. So then we get into the pen box itself because it comes with some very important information, like how to work the crescent filler, because this is not a normal pen. And these instructions are very important to follow when filling up the crescent filler. And I cannot stress how important they are. It is like using a lever filler, a vintage one, or a snorkel, where you need to know how to do it properly so that you don't mess up the pen. And I think it is very good that they have the instructions very predominantly. They also specify that you should only use cold water when cleaning. Like, the last thing you want to do is mess up the internal mechanisms of this pen. So the other one is the warranty card and the QR code for getting in touch with them. On the back of this, it's just letting you know how. On the back of this, it's just congratulating you on the pen and letting you know that this is a reproduction of one of their original designs, which I think is super cool because I'd tried vintage ones. I'd tried Kari's. I loved Kari's. There's something really special about it being a demonstrator and getting to see the inside mechanics because the nerd in me loves that. Like, the nerd in me is absolutely obsessed with this pen because I get to see everything happen. I've got vintage lever fillers. I fill them up, I use them, but there's something so different about when you get to see the mechanics work. It also includes the story of how the Conklin Pen Company was founded in 1898, and the fact that this was the first self-contained filling mechanism in a pen. Previous to this, everything was eyedropper, and so something like this was revolutionary, and you can definitely tell how this became a lever filler from a company like Waterman or a Parker 21 or a Parker 45. Like, it just, suddenly all those pens made sense to me, having seen something like this, which was the early version of that. And the fact that it's a demo just like makes me so happy because I can see all the mechanics. So let's talk about the pen itself. It's a pretty standard pen if you ignore what's going on right here. Like, it looks like a pretty normal pen. It's got a hinged sprung clip, which I really like that Conklin does. And then you've got a very nice cap band, including the edition size right on the cap band and the name of the pen. And then you get down to the interesting part, which is the crescent ring, which only turns one way, which is a good thing, and the crescent filler, which depresses the sac. So on one side, it says crescent filler trademark. And on the other side, it says Conklin. And it depresses quite nicely. I do like that it only turns one way and that it locks into place so that you can't accidentally depress it while writing. The main questions I got about this pen: how comfy is it to hold and to write with? I will say the cap is very secure. Pretty comfy. So I would describe a fairly small hand. Here's something. Here's a Faber-Castell Neo Slim. I've got a fairly small hand. I wear a size 7.5 gloves, so I have a fairly small hand in the grand scheme of glove sizes. So it sits in a pretty nice spot where this ring is actually inside my hand. So it's not actually sitting on my hand. And even if I were to move it up, like, then you've only got the edge of the ring, and it's got nicely smoothed edges, so it's not sharp, which I think is really important, especially because they've done editions of this in brass and in silver. And so if that edge was sharp, it would be quite uncomfortable to write with. The other question I got was, how badly does it stain? I would say as badly as other sac fillers I have. It stains this probably the same amount as my Parker 21 does. Like, clearly that ink sac has a pink hue to it. There's still a tiny bit of pink ink in it that I just couldn't get out, which brings us to the third question that was asked by a bunch of people, which was, how easy is it to clean? It's not. I would say it is the most labor-intensive pen I have to clean. I haven't cleaned my vacuum pen yet. I don't know how labor-intensive that's going to be, but I've cleaned my piston pens, and they take, I'd say, like 5 minutes a pen to get them totally clean. Normally cartridge converters I can clean in probably 2 to 3 minutes a pen. This probably took me close to 10 minutes to get this clean. And I'm happy with it being this clean. So, that also being said, it is no more labor intensive than my Waterman 555, the difference being I can see the color of the sac. So, unlike with the Waterman, I can see the color that it is. And so because of that, it was a bigger deal to get it clean than I think it would normally be, because I could tell. And so I think I probably spent more time cleaning it than I would clean the Waterman, just because I knew how stained it was, and I was trying to see if I could get any of that staining. The answer was I couldn't. So we're going to ink this up. And I've made an interesting decision because I found the Conklin Dusty Rose too wet. My other fear was that this is a sac filling pen and you really want something close to pH neutral. And so the only inks that I put in my vintage stuff are Mont Blanc inks. And so we are putting Mont Blanc Around the World in 80 Days in this pen. Do I think this is the ink that's going to stay in this pen? No, it is a dark gray. I think on my next trip to Mont Blanc, I'm probably going to get something more fun and limited edition, maybe in a pink, maybe in a purple. For now, though, I think this is a good ink for this pen because it is nicely dark. It's going to work well with that broad nib because the Conklin broad nib is broad and it's lovely. It's a Yovo number 6. It's actually, these pens are the first Yovo number 6s I've got. Previous to those, I've just had 5s. Oh, I love them. That being said, I think I could have gone for a medium on this pen because it is just so juicy of a nib that I almost don't need this nib on it. So we are going to follow the instructions, which say to depress the sac. Here we go. Turn so it's under the crescent of the barrel. Press. Keeping the ink sac pressed. It's a very slow process. We're about halfway full. We might call time there. Mostly because I don't have the patience. And it holds a lot of ink. So I'm going to turn the crescent. And we turn the wrong way, and we're going to turn the other way to lock it in place so that doesn't move. Let's stick the cap on here. Let's grab our trusty Traveler's Notebook from Gale and Leather. So this is the Conklin. Mark Twain. Demo. Gold. Broad nib. Ink. Round the Oh, I really like this pen with this ink. It's got personality. So, there we go. I would say the only thing I dislike about this pen is that the nib is silver. I think with all the rose gold hardware, it would have been really pretty if the nib was rose gold to match the rest of the pen, but luckily Conklin nibs are fairly easy to pick up on something like Amazon, so I might just order a rose gold nib for this pen in something like a medium, because I think it would be really pretty to have a full matching set with the rose gold nib and the rose gold pen with the rose gold hardware. But I do really like this pen. The nerd in me absolutely adores this pen because everything is clear and I can see everything. Like I love my vintage stuff, but having what was that first vintage pen that sort of started all of those sack fillers that I adore is really cool. And having it in clear as a demo so that I can see everything makes it even more cool. So, hope you enjoyed. Let me know what ink you'd put in this pen. I do like it with the Mont Blanc Gray, honestly. I didn't think I was going to, but it matches the feed, and so I think it actually looks pretty cool. I did briefly debate putting something sparkly in this pen, but it's such a pain to clean that I think if I put something sparkly in it, I'm committing to it being sparkly for life, and I don't know that I want to do that. So let me know what you would put in this pen, and let me know if you have one, because I'm discovering that a shocking amount of people actually have Mark Twain crescent filler pens and just sort of have them like stashed away and don't really use them. I really like mine, so I'm going to have to play around with it more in the coming weeks and maybe take it with me to the upcoming Pelican Hub because I think it's super fun. So I hope you enjoyed watching and have a great day.